Okay, can we do the hand thing? I don't know where I am. So it's February 6th in the year 2024. We're gathered today as a bay in this Thinky Feely tank. Today exploring how we can be a diffraction apparatus. All right. Okay. And let's begin.
Yes. Right. Okay, so I got it. Everything's live. Okay, let me just close these windows. This quick updates before we do the diffraction apparatus, which I'm very excited about. I wrote a description, but it's not good. Um, okay. So tiny health updates. Oh, Saffron, do you want a tiny health kit?
Sure.
Okay, I have to. Okay, it's like it's how much are they? 149?
Yeah.
I think
How
they're
much is that?
149, something like that.
Okay.
149. I mean, if we do the proper channels, we just have to like do the consent vote thing for
I'm
spending money.
wondering, I have a question. I remember going back to through previous videos, and it was proposed that we include some sort of contingency when setting aside money for this project in particular. I think it was Lamb's idea. Did that ever happen?
What do you mean by contingency? Do you
And
remember? Do you remember?
I don't remember. If I had to guess, I would say November vibes last year. Um, but it was like you had proposed, hey, wouldn't it be cool if just in case anyone else wants to join, we add like a little bit more to the amount that we're approving. And I haven't followed up, so I don't know if that happened or not.
I feel that kind of vibe about that having been a thing. Like I would like I was a little surprised to hear that we were just floating a consent vote when it seemed like we didn't need to, but probably
I don't
I
know.
kind of I kind of remember I kind of remember that conversation, but we didn't end up doing that. I think
Okay.
we just said that we asked for the I think it was a
Wow.
thousand $900 for the
Okay.
that amount. But we could totally I think it'd be just very easy. It's just like,
right.
oh, Saffron's getting a kid. Just like anyone opposes, just like say so. And no one's gonna oppose you getting a
Okay.
kit. So yeah. But yeah, we can totally get you a kit. You want to get a kit?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so that is easy. All I think I can set it up, and I just need your address for them to mail the kit to.
Okay, I'll text it to you.
Okay, perfect. And then so these are the ones that are in the lab. There's only two in the lab. There's one that's en route. Oh shit, maybe that's the one I put in the um DM. And then I got an email that says one is not activated, but that's only four, and there's six, right?
Yeah.
So one of the ones shared of mine, and I activated it after that email.
Okay.
Mine isn't in our account yet. And so mine is definitely one of the ones missing in that count of four.
Okay. So, and then nine says one of them is not. I guess that's the one. It's weird that I got one that's not like it's like one email. Okay. But and then the other is oh yeah, it's Dr. Brouhaha and then Gossamer. Wait, is that seven people? No. Yeah.
Entangler, Splash, Lamb Shift, Nine, Gossamer, Dr. Bruhaha.
Six. Okay.
Plus now Saffron.
Okay. Cool. Yes, if you yeah, Saffron remind me because when you text me, then I'll remember to put it in the actually
Okay.
action items. Oh, I forgot about action items.
I can I share something related to tiny health? I got my results. My lab results went through. Um And so just to say that, like, I looked at them and I didn't really know what to make of them. And it was definitely a sort of situation of like scroll, 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 scroll. Oh, okay, there's some green. Okay, there's a little bit of yellow. Oh, there's some red stuff. Like, anyway, it did not go in depth, but we do now have one test, which I guess I'm still waiting. I sent them another tech ticket request for them to move it over to our Tiny Plus account, but I guess it's contingent on that. But if there's any way that we want forward momentum on this, if forward momentum benefits us while we're in a waiting game with other tests, my test having its results can be a way that we have that we engage with it. So just so that everybody knows that that's an option now.
That sounds great. And the test results you got are the extended ones and the extended version, the, I don't know what to call it, the one that the more
Like
data version.
the raw data, no, they didn't
Okay.
send the raw data. But also I hadn't quite asked for the requests for raw data were all around our Tiny Plus shared account. And I also don't know why they haven't been. I don't know what the holdup is in getting my stuff transferred into the Tiny Plus account. It's been like a week, and so there's some sort of stuff going on their end. I got an email before I got my test results that was like, sorry, we had a big, like, there was a delay. We like to do things faster, but there was a delay with this, and so I think things might be moving kind of slower than are normal on their end. But yeah, I did not get the raw data. I did get like the report, and you can download a PDF report, which is like 60 pages and includes like a name of every single thing, but it's not the sort of data that we could put into some sort of program and have it processed there.
Mhm. Mhm. So and are you saying that like you think you didn't get the raw data because you weren't part of the kit? Okay, because they still know when you met with that one person, they still know that we want the raw data. Okay.
Yeah. And that person was like, cool, I'll follow up with the tech people and like make sure there's a way that we can do that.
Mhm.
Um, and then first there's something going on their end that's making these interfaces with their tech people particularly slow.
I got an email saying that they're like for an invitation to join, I don't know, like buy stock or so. I don't know what it was. It seems something like that, like they're doing some kind of like they're moving away from something, maybe like the baby stuff or something and doing this other thing. Or so I kind of read it but didn't, and then I was gonna forward it, but then I was like, oh no, they're just asking if you want to join their thing. And I was like, I don't think people are. So I think maybe that's the thing that was whatever that thing is holding up. And then in regards, so if you wanted to have your consultation, you can do it, and
Yeah.
then you can like report back or something.
Yeah. 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 My consultation is dependent. First, they've got to transfer my lab results into our account, but then I could. And I am comfortable with anybody joining. I'll be in touch. I'll maybe send maybe there's some way for me to give an update whenever mine is transferred over, and so anybody can voice interest if they want to tune in to a consultation call.
Yeah, you can do it in that probably like in that email thread that
Okay.
that you started with.
That's smart. Yeah.
Cool. Yay. Hi, Gossamer. We're talking about tiny health. Did
Cool.
you send yours in?
I did. I think it's one that's been received based on your outline.
Cool.
I haven't logged into the site today though, so if it's been received, does that mean it's been processed and that I have
Mm-mm.
results? Okay.
Yeah, Lamshift got their results, but they're in a different account. So we're just talking about like
How they're gonna merge their
yeah,
results.
yeah. And then so we're talking about like maybe Lamshift can do their consultation because it's ready, and then we're also talking about the raw data and stuff like that, which they're still gonna get it to us, but didn't come with Lamshift's because they think that like it's not part of the bigger thing. So because they're separate, they have a separate account from ours.
Okay.
So waiting to merge them. Okay, cool. The other updates are just like the CC industry connections. Did you, Fawn, did you ever Is it, do you,
I did
is
not.
it good?
I
Oh.
Hey, what's that? Sorry.
Oh, I was just wondering if there's anything more that, yeah.
No, I just gotta take that time, Yeah, but no, thank you.
Okay, but you're gonna ask for the person you really want. That's the plan. That
I
was the
am.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to do like I don't know. I feel like I need to prepare, which I will. And then maybe next time I can bring a draft
yeah. Hmm.
to rep school. Yeah, okay, let's do that.
Yay. Okay. So I'll just write Sean is bringing draft of email for CC. Cool. Okay, so the other updates are just like I used to me to write that email, which I think I was gonna write with nine because nine's like for the grant writer to CC. And then I still have to I did check in with Max, but I'm gonna check in again. I think he's doing a job shift, so changing major change in job. So maybe that's it. And that's all the updates I have. Does anyone else have updates?
I didn't work on my player card this week, but I haven't abandoned hope that I'll have one day.
Me too, Gossamer.
Um, cool. I still need to update mine, so I'm not there with you. Okay. Lamb shift, yeah.
Mhm. Okay. I got really freaked out about this for a second earlier today, and I like tried to really, really make it some intense facilitating stuff. Because that's what I aspire to, and then I realized it's just beyond my level. So this is gonna be, I'm gonna give some framing and then propose a structure for how we do this, and then I'll try it. And the thing that the spirit that I'm coming in with is that it's actually gonna be really, really cool to start figuring out how we can function as a diffraction apparatus. And that this is like one intentional step towards learning that. And a thing that I used to calm myself down was like, lamb shift, we're going to learn from this, and then we're going to try something after that and get better at being a diffraction apparatus. And we'll see how we can be a diffraction apparatus. Because here, I'm going to read some quotes from Karen Barad. So overall, Brad says, to summarize, what I'm interested in doing is building diffraction apparatuses in order to study the entangled effects differences make. So this is why diffraction apparatuses can be really important to study the entangled effects differences make. Learning from like the scientific experimentation that comes in like the history of science. That's where this term comes from. They're diffraction gratings. And diffraction gratings are instruments that produce patterns that mark differences in the relative characters, i.e., the amplitude and the phase of individual waves as they combine. Okay, diffraction gratings are instruments that produce patterns that mark differences in the relative characters of individual waves as they combine. And then one last thing to read. This is from the really handy little table comparing diffraction and diffractive methodology from reflection and reflexivity. Diffraction is about making a difference in the world, about taking responsibility for the fact that our practices matter, that the world is materialized differently through different practices. So we're going to see what it's like for us to try to be early in our learning about how to be a diffraction apparatus. And what I'm thinking is, do y'all hear sleeping? Okay, that's just in my thing. What I propose is a structure of whoever brought in a definition of TFT. What is TFT? first we can look at what these definitions do. Then we can look at what the differences do amongst the definitions. And then with the knowledge of that discussion, we can talk about what we want our description to do and craft together a description. So first is looking at what the different descriptions do. Then we look at what their differences do. And then we determine what we want our description to do and try to put something together. And our goal in the most practical, tangible way is just to have a description for our website. But we're going to see if the way that we reach, if that can be a means to us developing our knowledge about how to be a diffraction apparatus. So how does it sound? We could open up, I could maybe screen share just our doc, some doc, and paste in different, type out and paste in different definitions that people brought. How many are there? I rewrote one, and so I have one that I'm bringing in.
I rewrote one too. Should we, I was wondering if we should use the whiteboard or like the Zoom thingy, or is that weird?
Oh, can we try again? And then it might, because last time we tried it, it just absolutely doesn't work.
Should we try it? Should we try it?
Yeah.
Do I need to do it? I can't. Okay, wait, here. Okay, who can start sharing when someone else is sharing? All participants can share. Who can initiate new whiteboards with me? All participants.
I'll try to open a whiteboard.
Okay, yeah, you do it. Yeah.
Okay. Whoa.
I can use it. Can you? Can you not do it again?
There's nothing for me to interact with. How about
That's
the rest of
so-
y'all?
Yeah, I can like, there's a toolbar on the left and I can do it. Why am I only able to do it?
I see a message that says the owner of the whiteboard only allows sharing with users within the same organization.
Oh, motherfuck.
That's
Okay.
pretty exclusive.
I see. Okay, that's a setting thing. I'm gonna change that setting. But in the meantime, it's not gonna work. I don't know if you want to use a different thing or wait to see if I can change the setting.
I don't mind waiting to see if the settings can change. It would be cute
Okay,
if we can use the Zoom whiteboard.
I know, I think so too. Okay, let me do it. Let me do it really fast. Let's see. What was the notification? Splash was it?
It's gone now. The owner of this whiteboard only allows sharing with members within the same organization, something like that.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a Otis, so they're like only Otis people if you have like Otis email, I think.
Oh.
So let me go to settings. Motherfucker, they made it so I can't share it. Well,
Mhm.
that is so sad.
And this is right. Our Zoom is inextricably linked to Otis. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's annoying.
Let me see.
Okay. Well, I guess we can just use a. Hey, doesn't Google have a whiteboard version?
Yeah.
Oh, a Google Jamboard.
Yeah, Jamboard. Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
what it's
God.
called. Let's Jamboard this
Okay,
shit.
I'm making a Jamboard. I'll send y'all the link. Oh my God, this is
I
We're
was
gonna
like,
close the
didn't we get caught up in the jam last week? And I was like, it was the DJ jam. And now it's the whiteboard jam. But we did
All right,
jamming all
y'all
around.
join. Does this join you to the jam?
Let's see.
how do we join the jam?
I am in the jam.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay,
I've arrived.
ready to jam.
I've arrived to the jam.
Okay, I'm putting my descriptions in the jam.
How do you spell? Is
I-
apparatus with one or two P's?
P? Two P's. I have notes on mine, which I'll add. Oh.
Write out your description with the pen tool. Okay.
Okay, these have notes. So
There we go.
my thing is not written well at all.
Me too.
So it
Is
just
it
needs.
still?
Oh,
I'm gonna do
okay.
Oh,
Wait, how are y'all
wow,
doing this? Just
that's a lot.
text.
something.
No.
It's very small.
I have the jingle from a pharmaceutical ad in my head.
And mine has footnotes.
Is there only one page? Am I like, are there more pages? I've never
There's one
jammed
page, but we
before.
can make more pages on our Jamboard.
We don't need to make. Okay. Okay, cool.
Yo, awesome. Okay, we've just got 3 definitions that we're diffracting. Is that right?
Yeah.
Do you want to do we want to bring in ones from the previous time? How did
I
I
kind
don't
of I redid mine, like the one that I included in that one doc, which is this I just updated mine.
uh-huh,
So I don't need to bring mine in.
I
okay.
would like to bring mine in.
Okay. I have really
I have-
quick access to that, I think. Where is it?
Here, I have it. It's in this
Okay.
doc. So the one that I just put in the chat slash is the one that has our older.
Oh, good.
Couldn't Neil-
I'm gonna copy my old one in too.
Footnotes. How do I add footnotes? This, no. I like the drawing, whoever's doing the drawing. That was,
I think it's a collab.
Yeah, it is.
oh, is it? That's great.
Squeeze tighter, kid.
I think it's like so giant. This text is so small. I do not like that. Okay, better. Okay, you know what? We're gonna talk about these, right? Long shift or share
Yeah.
them. Okay,
Yeah.
then I'll add my footnotes. Nice share.
Oh, you mean like kind of present them?
Yeah, is that what we're gonna do.
Oh, cool. That I'm cool with that. The priority for this time is discussing what they do. And the way that we did this last time was by like making a little bulleted list, like characterizing some of the key points of each one. And I think that's a way to do it. But providing more context seems like fitting for for discussing what they do, what each of these definitions do.
Yeah, it might be also nice to hear them read out loud too. Like, yeah. So should we have a side thing that of to take notes or something of the bullet points? Or no, first we're just like reading to see what they're doing. Each one is doing.
Yeah, notes sound. This is, I guess, a Jamboard's tricky to have notes on it too. Can we make little tiny sticky notes?
Yes, yeah, little
Okay.
sticky notes. That sounds good.
Okay.
Why does this Jamboard also look very small? Look small or something.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay,
You could
good. I'm
change
glad
the
I'm not the
zoom.
only one. Maybe if I make my browser screen bigger.
Oh yeah, I have y'all in just like a tall row on the right now. Now the Jamboard's more reasonable. Um, could we just read ones regardless of whether they're the ones that we brought or not?
I just have footnotes for mine.
And these two are the ones that go together. It's like
Kind
that.
of. Well, I wrote two kind of different approaches. Or
Okay,
like
so neither of these are the footnotes.
no, I didn't end up putting the footnotes in. They just
Okay,
have
okay,
they're
great.
just questions that I have.
Hmm.
Okay, I'll read one. Thinky Feeling Tank is an event, gathering, playground, diffraction apparatus, collective, worlding media.
Can I add to that? So I like the things I had, like the event I was referring to, like I was just thinking about the different iterations that TFT has taken. So the event I was referring to the TFT number 1 and 2 events, but I didn't know what to call them. So that's like a footnote. Like the event. The other footnotes that I had were like if we can claim if we can if Farah would be upset if we called it a diffraction apparatus. That was one of my questions. I'm like, is it actually a diffraction apparatus? Um and oh yeah, that's it for that one. But yeah, I was just thinking, and I was just thinking about like listing kind of the different forms that Thinky Feely takes. So that's kind of the idea with that one.
I'll read another blurb. Thinky Feely Tank is a loose collective of philosopher, technologists, artists, co-creating apparatuses that materialize liberatory theories into companionate praxis and somatically integrative tools. I wish I read that in my head before I read it out loud. Um, I love that. I think that's a really great way to describe us. Personally, I think for the everyday person, there might be a bit of disconnect and quite a lot of confusion. But I think that's okay, and I think we can go on to like elaborate, just like clarify some terms,
I agree with it. Wait, I agree with the jargon too, or thinking about that. But are we, Lamship, what are we doing? Are we talking about what it's doing? Like each statement is doing? Like what
Yeah, I'm
it's,
wondering.
Yeah, I'm translating things that come up into these into little stickies, and then we can also just spiral and spiral and spiral and talk about like return back to them and return back to them until we feel like we've noted the different things that each of them are doing, but the initial reactions I think are fitting too.
so there can be critiques too, right? Like we're
Mm-hmm.
like, okay.
Because that's I mean to me that's a way of that's noting what it's doing too. Like a
Mm,
critique is a critique is a translation of what it's doing or like what it's perceived to be doing.
totally. Fuck yeah. I mean, I mean, for that one, I'm also noting like it's naming the types of people. And I wonder about that.
Mhm.
Being specific about
Hmm.
uh at philosopher, technologist, artist. And if one doesn't fit that. I mean, that's an agential cut, right? That's being made in terms of like who's included and excluded.
Mhm.
So just to note that. Um,
I can note that. I'm writing it out. Oh, you got it. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Never mind.
I love the companionate praxis. I love that. What does that mean? I love it.
No, what does it mean?
It's like practices of being in community, I guess, in a sense.
Mhm.
But and like I think what is the yeah, what gets added by saying companion versus community, right? Where there is like I mean, there's more intimacy in companionship than in community somehow.
No, totally.
Right, like I love that too. Like when it's companionate praxis. So it's like a praxis that's rooted in, I feel like, like its site is in the companionship. Like, you know what I mean? Like that nature has to be there or else it can't be that. Or like the practice can't happen.
That's nice. Yeah.
I just looked up companionate too.
Hmm.
Between partner, I mean, this is in relation to marriage or relationship or relationships. Between partners or spouses as equal companions.
Hmm.
I love
Interesting.
that.
Interesting. Is this like a style of attachment?
Hmm?
Um, I somatically integrative tools. I like that too.
I like that personally, yeah.
What is somatically integrative tools doing?
That's a good question. I love this. What is it doing? It's so good. It's like giving. I feel like I'm like using this language, like giving this.
To me, it gives a sense of body to what it's not just talk. It's like embodying this um or rather, creating tools that like it's does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like bodied tools, you know?
Yeah. I
What do you
guess
think
we
that
could
I was gonna say, what do you think the syntax is doing? That the way that they put the I don't know
Angle brackets are called.
angle brackets, yeah. I guess for me that puts it into like I guess I associate that with like markup or coding stuff or something. So then it brings in the I guess like the machine a little bit or something to the integrative tools. So I mean the somatic integrative
It's
is
funny.
giving that.
They're actually like a hesitation and like provisionality mark. Like they're saying like, I don't know if this is the right phrase, but like
Oh
something.
wait, you know what? This okay. I've been using brackets kind of to mean that, but is that the common language? I mean, is that the
No, yeah, brackets is. I mean, I think brackets to me means like this is the implication of what I'm saying, or something like so. To me, it's almost the fact that angle brackets don't have a like a firm meaning that like highlights the provisionality of what's within them at all. Um, like this can't be the finished thing because it's
I
not.
see, I see, I see, I see, I see, I see.
is that angled bracket used in a specific way in coding to mean something?
Um, yeah, but in a range of different ways.
Uh-huh.
In fact, and it's not that common. I mean, yeah, more common to use double curly braces is like a template kind of language thing. or and if yeah, well in HTML, like those hold tags, right? That open and close, but that's but a hyphen is not a valid character for an HTML tag name, so it's not, it can't possibly be an HTML tag.
Right. And I think another thing that it's also doing is like making materialize, so like it's like making a movement from like theory to like a praxis or a tool or something.
Right. Yeah. I think yeah, one thing that we do is make this communal bay as an event. And the other thing we do is like try to materialize these theories into tools that make us whole.
Ooh, can I read mine next? Because it kind of a little bit. I mean, not that we had to be done with this one, but what you just said, Splash, was like, oh. I guess the other thing is doing it. I mean, and thinking about now, I'm thinking about the difference between like apparatuses and diffractive apparatuses, and also diffraction apparatuses. I'm like, is it a diffraction apparatus, a diffractive apparatus, or an apparatus? And this one is more generally an apparatus. So I'm wondering like what that does. I mean, again, it makes it open. It's definitely broader,
Right.
for sure.
Yeah, it's less. It's committing to less. It's sort of it's allowing that not all of our like even that uncertainty would Karen be okay with us calling this a diffraction apparatus, and we don't have to worry about it if we just say apparatus. I mean, it's like I think not everything we make will be diffractive, right? Like but that it can be a goal without it being a guarantee.
Ooh, also now I'm thinking about apparatus versus mediation device, and thinking about the way that Reframer talks about media. Media is like something that delivers scripts or something. Oh, wait, hold on. I have like where I'm wondering, yeah, what's the difference between an apparatus and a medium? A medium. So like a medium, I'm just gonna read this. Like a script is a belief that is corroborated by an institution, like cultural, social, religious, legal, and or medical. And media is that which mediates, and media is that which shapes, reshapes, or brings forth a script or rescripted or unscripted experience. So like media is like can be the carrier of scripts or something. Or not just a carrier, but it's not just a carrier, it's not separate. It's like also part of the apparatus. It's like part of the thing that makes it come forth. But just something to think about. Because in my one before I said worlding media. I've never called it that. So I'm thinking about worlding media versus like apparatus. Well, this is fun. Such a good
I think so
idea.
too. This is great.
Such a good idea, Lampship. I absolutely love the what is it doing question. So good.
In Tingler, are you down to read your next one?
Oh yeah. So it's the one below. So think tanks and its name point to the privileging of the mind over the body, mind-body split, and also that the mind and body are separate. Thinky Feely Tank, TFT, centers a somatic approach, i.e. our whole selves. And this is a quote, which I don't think I like including a quote, but our sensing selves, our feeling selves, our thinking selves, our behavioral selves, and our relational selves. And that's a quote from Stacey Haynes to describe the whole selves. Okay. Sensations, emotions, the non-rational, the insensible, the unobservable, the emergent are attended to so as not to feed the dominant and naturalized belief entities, like concepts, logics that keep us worlding within the 5%. TFT is an effort to world the 5% beyond itself. Oh, and the reason I think I was thinking about this after Splashes was this move from theories to praxis, and I'm kind of almost saying like it goes like another way, like this other way of like attending to emotions so they don't feed into dominant or naturalized beliefs.
Mm.
Yeah, it the attending to this really communicates the attending to aspect, like the importance of attending to this stuff, and that we are attending to this stuff, and that's a priority of ours.
Mhm.
The feelings are feelings because it's like the feelings that like if unchecked tend to get us to world and 5% shit, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm thinking about how that works with Splash's thing of like theories into praxis, you know, and this is kind of more like feelings, attending to feelings so we don't get into conceptualization too much or something, or concepts and beliefs. Really influenced by Pat McCabe with this thing. But then also like I think what is happening also is like we're making separations or something, which is something that I'm trying not to do, which is something that Barad was emphasizing a lot. Like there's no material and discursive, or there's not like theories and then like, you know, praxis, or like it's all together or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to be like attentive to when it feels like we're emphasizing one or the other, or what is, yeah, when the sentences are doing that. Though I can say one more thing, sorry. Though I do think because our world is like primarily the conceptualization, as Pat McCabe said, like like we're conceptualizing experience and we're kind of trafficking in like concepts and beliefs, that I do think there like an emphasis away from that would be like it's not like we can't be equal yet or something. That makes sense because it's too, so like maybe more emphasis of the non-rational stuff.
That because we are in such a world of conceptualization, we're like deliberately like engaging in the conceptualizations on what is determined as this side in order to not be doing this side.
Kind of, I don't know if that's true. It's
No,
just
but
like,
I don't know if I understood right either.
yeah, kind of, I think how you just said it is kind of how I was thinking about it. Like we're in a world that's heavy conceptualization. And so like if we don't emphasize the feeling, sensations, or the not the unobservable, will easily it'll be hard, we'll get easily sucked back into like 5% shit, you know, and concepts and da, da, da. So that's like it. But I don't know if that's true. I know this is like what I think. I mean, other things that maybe it's doing is like it's bringing, I guess it's like making a distinction between think tanks and thinky feely tanks. And it's like, I guess it's also like emphasizing like this mind body split that I'm talking about.
Yeah, one thing it does, it explains our um our relationship with this other term, think tanks.
Mhm.
You're going to another one? Or is
Yeah.
I really like that one that's being moved right now.
This one.
The co-evolving quantum somatic psychic organism.
I'm about to add another word to it too, if I can get it to edit the text.
Oh, is that yours, Splash?
Yeah.
In this other TFT document, you say, through these thinky feely tanks, emerge technologies that support our coming together, enable us to turn to one another amid the isolating individualist conditions that we'd otherwise die within. And when I read that, it really provoked me, especially the word choice die. And then coming over here to this, really breaking it down about the mind body split and privileging the mind over the body and how we're trying to merge the mind and the body. I mean, that's kind of the definition of life, because the body without the mind is dead. And I don't know, I wish we could tease that out linguistically, because it makes me feel like in some way the thinky feely tank is a fulcrum around which like life and death kind of can hover if our minds become too separated from our bodies. And that's what society's doing to us right now. It's causing a type of death, or like a pre-death.
Damn, Gossamer, that was good. I think we were recording this. I love that. I love it being a fulcrum. I guess that's so great.
Because we're never really balanced in our mind and our body. We're always just kind of teetering, trying to stay balanced. And I guess that's what the tools can be useful for.
I'm like sus about balance though. I'm sus about balance, cycles, and family. That's the thing.
Oh, interesting.
Because
Are
those
those
are
your
the things that,
are those your are those your volts?
oh my God, wait, I'm bringing that down. Those are my moles.
Your
Wait, I love this.
Wait, what are they? Your volts?
Oh yeah.
Vulns. Vulns is the computer jargon term.
Oh,
Wait,
Really?
what?
Wait, say
I was
more.
In like if there's a security flaw in software, it's called a vuln, a security vulnerability.
Interesting. And actually, I just added the N there on the end because it was soups and vols, VULS. But I don't know, like, I like vols.
I like
home.
Yeah,
yeah.
I like vols.
Vulns.
Wait, you like that one with the N?
Yeah, because I think so. Because like, vol doesn't. I mean, it depends on how far removed you want it to be from what it's signifying. You know, like what's a vol? Looks like vol. No, I don't know.
I like Vaughn too, with the N.
Yeah, I like with the N.
Yeah, vol sounds like vols.
Okay, subs and bones. Subs and bones.
Got figured out that very important detail.
But thank you for that, Fawn, about the
Wait, what were they again? Cycles, family, and
balance.
Balance.
Yeah. Gossamer reminded me of the balance. And I always like, oh, why does it always have to be fucking balance? Hate balance. Why does everything have to be a cycle? And then family. Why does everything have to be family? Like there's nothing outside of it, like nothing outside of those things.
I don't know.
Cycle, balance, and family.
Balance seems impossible. I feel like I can't be balanced, like I was saying the other day in PG. Uh, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So like fuck balance. I feel like that balance is like
balance because balance requires endurance. Balance is like an act that never ends. If you're not
Hmm.
balancing, and like until I guess you are balanced, but to be in balance means to always be in between two states. So wouldn't therefore you're always in action.
There's this concept from rock climbing that really stuck with me of dynamic balance, which is that like you can be doing you can be doing a move that like requires your body to be moving through space, but like throughout the movement you are like you have dynamic balance, which I find compelling for some circumstances, but possibly not these ones.
I think that applies. I have a really hard time saying fuck balance. I'm not gonna lie. Um,
Yeah, not all balance is symmetry.
yeah, not all balance is symmetry.
Oh.
Nice. Um, I feel comfortable saying fuck balance a bit as somebody who has poor balance based as a result of my physical sensory experience of the world. So, but also maybe not fuck balance, maybe just like rethink balance. Like,
Yeah. Actually, the way
Softening
that
it.
softening the
yeah, I
Actually,
think
the way
I
that
saw.
you described it, fun, like now I was like, oh, okay, I can accept that. Like it being a constant movement. Like it's like balance is constantly moving. It's not, yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like I made this joke, where I was like, oh, spinning is something that I've been like in dancing has been a little bit better for me. And I was like, I wonder if it's because my like center of balance is like off, but I can't spin the other way. I can only spin one way. And like in the way I can only ride goofy. I can't like ride regular. So but I was like, yeah, I wonder if it's like I don't know, because of that I'm used to that motion. And it gives me a different experience of it. I don't know. And I was like, I'm not spiraling, I'm twirling.
What I'm really holding
Double
on
meaning,
to out
double
of what
meaning.
you've just said is that I'm wondering if it's that way because I'm used to that movement. And I think the same can be said for balance. You know,
What do you mean?
are you fuck balance because you're not used to balance? You know?
Mm, yeah, balance is out of reach. I have to like reimagine how I can be balanced in relation to myself.
You know what it is for me? I think it's the striving for balance. I'm saying fuck you. Like that,
Mm,
like the ideal of balance, like it must be
mhm.
balanced. You just balance like you're imbalanced. You must be balanced. It
Yeah,
starts sounding like straighten yourself or be normal or like,
Yeah. Yeah. I resonate with that too. And I feel like yeah, I don't know. Part of me is like the whole thing about balance, part of the balance of it all is to not always be striving for it. You know? Um, you know, if you're always striving for it, then that is inherently not balance.
yeah, those damn Libras.
The
My
Libra
moon's in
moon.
Libra and
Why
it's fucking
would
rough.
I'm a Libra.
you're a
I
Libra?
was gonna say, I think there's a Libra
Well,
here.
because
I
Libras
feel
are
it.
always striving for balance. That's like
Yeah,
one of the characteristics of Libras is,
yeah.
yeah.
Hey, here,
Gosh,
today's
I love
intentionally
that we
crap.
share Libra
Oh,
moon lambs. My heart.
Oh, I lied. I have one random Libra placement I think I inherited from my mother, and it's my Jupiter.
Oh, interesting.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Random.
Can I take us back to the board by reading one of them?
Yes.
If we
Um,
have to.
a publicly co-evolving quantum somatico-psychic organism. Okay, I'm gonna read it one more time and then I'm gonna say, what does it do? A publicly co-evolving quantum somatico-psychic organism. What does this description of Thinky Feely Tank do? It does kind of make a snake. Like it makes like a snake or an eel in my mind. And I don't know how much that's shaped by the image, but I'm still gonna put it. It like this one like makes a creature in my imagination.
I've been trying to think about the words as a path, you know?
As a
Like
path.
as a path, yeah, like when we're creating and combining and reapproaching like these words or ideas, like how do you create that flow where it leads in?
Mm.
Like each word can inform the next word as we continue, as we go on to define it.
Mhm.
Like I think putting think tank before thinky feely tank conceptually was a good way of doing that.
What do people think quantum is doing? What is quantum giving? I like get very, I like wish there was like a better fucking
Mm.
word because like quantum has become, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. What is quantum pointing to? That could be said differently.
I mean, doesn't need, yeah, well, doesn't need to be pointed to at all. Like, there's enough words there to cover.
well, the quantum brings in, I think one thing that's missing maybe is like the collective aspect of it. I mean, it says publicly, but it could be a solo public psychic
Oh, the
organism.
co-evolving. Co-evolving, I thought was the collective
Um,
part.
oh, co-evolving, right. I guess well the quantum to me points to a worldview. That's what it does, as a like a quantum physics worldview versus a
Mm.
classical physics worldview. And so to me that's important because like being a publicly co-evolving somatic psychic organism that is trafficking within the 5%, I mean that can happen. It's just like a different thing, yeah.
What is psychic doing?
To me,
Places it in the mind body or the mind
psych,
spirit.
yeah,
And inverting.
psychic is like a different word for mind, a different placeholder for that mind concept, maybe, but more
Does
spiritual.
the psychic feel
Yeah,
beyond the
yeah,
mind?
yeah. I want to echo that. For me, psychic does nothing but, say mind, but with the more spiritual touch, which, like, I don't know if that's what we're going for. Um, yeah.
In that essay found that the we are all non-binary, Kaji Min uses the word psychic to mean like this individual sense of self. Like so like one of his arguments is that identity has become psychic, meaning like inside of me and not connected to the social. So I don't usually hear that word used that way, but after hearing Kaji Min, now I think about it that way. I think about it as like this internal kind of like psychic, almost like a symbolic universe almost. But I looked up the
Yeah.
definition. The first definition is actually like, like telepathy and like clairvoyance and stuff like that, which I like that too. That. Uh, but I think, yeah, I think I agree that generally people would think psychic mind because that's also another, but it's also soul, like mind and soul.
Mm.
Like what I first typed was uh psychic somatic or something, like something that's very close to psychosomatic. And I think the inversion of like psychosomatic, the mind affects the body, and somatico-psychic, the body affects the mind, I think is aligned with our intentions for sure. But
Ooh, okay. What it's doing also by adding the psychic and the somatic is making a distinction between the two. Which if we use the definition of like somatics from generative somatics, that the somatic also includes the psychic. So it's not like adding the mind, like the somatic is all of ourselves. So it's our thinking self, our behavioral self, our feeling self. So if we set up somatic against something psychic, then is it doing like saying that it's not part of it, or yeah, it's doing some kind of separation.
right.
Mm.
Oh my God, this is like the best. We're like TFTing. Like we're like fucking TFT.
We're thinky and we're feely.
I love it.
I want to highlight a definition that Gossamer just provided in the chat. It reads, Psyche is the ancient Greek goddess of the soul. Unusually, she began as a mortal before ascending to Mount Olympus after undergoing many brutal trials and tribulations set by Aphrodite and winning the favor of her son, Eros.
Mm. So it is the soul. Soul.
It's interesting because when I read the like Stacey Haynes' definition of a somatic approach, to me it doesn't really give, like, it doesn't, that definition being our sensing selves, our feeling selves, our thinking selves, our behavioral selves, our relational selves, that to me doesn't scream soul. The closest thing that does is maybe our sensing self. But to the point, or to what you were just saying, in Tingler, and also to kind of tie in with Gossamer's definition that she provided, yeah, it is more like soul based. And I would be interested in exploring that and also having that be like a significant part of um what we endeavor when we're doing this, across the board, soul growth, right? So I'm wondering if there's a way to like include that somehow.
Totally. It is missing. It is missing from that.
I love you.
Oh, you're gonna, okay, bye, Splash. Bye.
Bye, Slash.
I'm thinking about, like, I know that, like, Stacey Haynes talks about spirit, but it is not included in like her kind of breakdown of what the somatic is. So, and then I'm thinking about the soul versus spirit. Do you consider them the same, or?
Oh, it's hard. I kind of do. I kind of do.
I don't. To me, spirit is what connects me to like everything else and everything bigger. And soul is like what my essence is. Like soul is like a quite a like specific to me kind of a sacred thing, where spirit is also a very sacred thing, but is like super duper duper about like how I feel around other
It's
life and
it's
all
more
other
like
spirits.
relational.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I totally stand that. I'll change my mind.
I would tend to kind of like think that way too, but then now I'm thinking about like the agential cuts that we're making. So if we're
Hmm.
saying that there is a something like a soul that is only ours, that means that a part of us is separate, like, from everything that is. And then wouldn't that then put us back into the kind of representationalism um worldview in which we're like outside, like there's a part of us that's can be outside and not affected or something? Or is it a different type of thing that still is porous, or?
Hmm.
It's hard. It's like I feel like if it's understood that, like, I don't know. I don't know. That's a really good question. Um I don't know.
What do you think, Lamshu? Curious about your, because you're saying the.
I do kind of think it does.
Mhm.
Like, and I haven't read um it feels like against my values sometimes whenever descriptions of souls or depictions of souls like really connect, like are really like inspiring to me, like really exciting to me, or like feel very promising to me. Um, I have a like a guardedness and a weariness towards them that I think is about the way that my interpretation of soul makes a cut between like this like spiritual self or like this this sacred self or something that isn't that is like cut off or like pristine and unaffected or something like that.
That's you're saying that's
Mm.
what you believe that, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean like
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what I believe. It's interesting because there's a part of me that does believe that too, or like wants that or something,
I feel
or
like
believes.
whenever I'm engaging with the concept of soul, like I'm engaging in this kind of like individual, like powerful being, or like individual, like an individual's like real like gifts and power. That's kind of what the concept carries with it. Versus whenever I'm engaging with the concept of the spirit, I'm engaging with something that like fits a lot more into my politics of like collective work
Okay.
and relationship.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think the soul then is like, how like I always get tripped up on stuff like this, or like people ask like, how do you get courage? Or how do you get, like people ask me that. I'm like, is that like the soul? How is that like the our kind of like different personality, like the things that I mean, of course, like maybe my courage is also from experience or something, but also maybe there's a part of me that is like, and that's like the soul that like I don't know, is that what you're talking about? Like that those parts or
Um,
Hmm.
Gossamer also shared about the ghost. She wrote when I use a letter board and pendulum to talk to quote unquote ghosts, my friends, um, they refer to themselves as spirits.
I don't know how to answer the question that you said in Tingler. It's interesting.
Can you ask the question again?
Yeah, how I guess I do, and actually Stacy talks about this too. Uh, that there's something, like that we each have that makes us like different or something. Like it can't all be like social conditioning or something, right? It's not like uh so there's something that I don't know when we're born or something, people call it your personality, or maybe it's your soul or certain kind of tendencies one might have towards, and I use the example of courage, like people ask me that, like, how do you get courage? And I don't know how to, like, and like that type of question makes me wonder, like, oh wait, why do I seem to have like a lot of courage or something, or and like, yes, a part of it is like through life experiences and like but then I think I do feel there's a part of me that like is that or like embrace, and so I'm wondering if that's what like lamp shift means by the soul,
Mhm.
which to me doesn't mean that can't be that's not like it's isolated. It's just like they're still interacting, like whatever that thing is still can interact with the world or what or oneself. But that's like who a person is, I guess, right? The soul, and people describe it that way, right? Like their soul is like who the essence of you or something. Oh my God, this is reminding me. Because I talked about this with Reframer, and Reframer said it this way that maybe change. Like they're like, yes, it's the essence, but the essence can change. So then it
Yeah,
became a question of like, is the soul unchangeable? Like
I don't think the soul is unchangeable, and I think again, I think we should hope to engage in soul growth, you know? And it's funny because when you were talking about the courage thing, I was like, well, but is the soul changeable? Like of course it is, you know? And then I was like, well then like is that soul? Like is that essence? And like essence can change and evolve, but yeah, I don't know. It's I to answer the very last question you said, yeah, I do think souls can grow. And or souls can change. I think they evolve into different things. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That said, I do feel a bit of individualism with it all. I'm like after after Lambs said what they said, I'm like I I'm having a hard time disconnecting from um an individualistic um point of view when it comes to the soul. Um because I think it's kind of like what you were saying, like that is sort of like everyone has a unique, like it is everyone's unique essence that is their soul, or we can call it something else, but I mean, I'm when I think of the unique essence that we're all talking about, I define like that's synonymous with soul to me, you know
Mhm.
um maybe they're not truly, you know
Mhm.
in regards to spirits. I totally hear what Gossamer is saying. I don't know if I'm when you talk to ghosts that they're souls. Maybe they are. But I also see spirit as like drive, you know. Um Again, to echo Lambs, it's like drive in relation to, something else. It's more community oriented, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
Um the soul doesn't feel like it's in relation to anything else, even though obviously it is. It feels more on its own, you know?
Mhm. Mhm. I like the connection that you made to individualism, because that's, I guess, my fear or something, that like my desire for wanting there to be like this essence of me is from our culture, which is like really rooted in individualism. And so like it's
Mhm.
hard. And also because I don't know, I was also thinking, Lampshade, about what you're saying about like being in your own space right now and and like I value, like I need my own space too. So there's also like I have a desire
Mm.
to be like separate a lot. Um, and that's also like a source of my, I don't know, the emo masochism and stuff, because I like feel separate or something. So I like those kind of like anything that kind of emphasizes that for me makes me like, I'm like, oh no, I'm doing the thing, I'm being an individual. Like, so
Mhm.
I wonder that a lot. So I'm glad that you brought that up. Oh, the other thing I was gonna say, yeah, and there's a need to be that way because the world is so intense. It's so like violent, and like, so like the need to have to carve out one space, and separate is, I think, also necessary too in this world.
I think I'm like the this relates to both the conversation that we're having right now and the diffraction apparatus page. A publicly co-evolving quantum somatic-psychic organism. Like there's a certain soul stuff doesn't I don't I don't feel soul stuff when I'm engaging in TFT.
Yeah.
Like spirit stuff feels like super like TFT does often like feel like it's engaging in spirit stuff, but something about TFT and soul stuff like those don't quite overlap or something. And so that's
Hmm.
something that I noted about this definition. I said tone of individuality through the soul of psychic term, and something about that not feeling like how I feel whenever I'm in TFT.
That's really good distinction.
I want to propose something structure-wise of the today do we go through the rest of the definitions and just keep on putting together the ideas of what they do. And then next time in TFT, if it's okay for us to just take our time, like I'll kind of reorganize, I'll organize this more visually and we'll come back into it and go through what we wrote down and see what we want to add to it and then go to the next step of what their differences do. Does that seem like a yeah, okay, okay. Thumbs up from Entangler. Any other thoughts about how we approach it?
I love this approach. And I
Okay.
love the slowness. I love it. Just like I love the conversations. It's like really, like yeah, it's really generative.
I'm sad. I'm probably gonna miss the next one, but I'm so excited. I can't wait to see where this.
It'll be in 2 weeks actually for the TFT.
Oh my God. Maybe I won't then.
Trying to make the
I love the whiteboard visual. It's so good.
It's
with
really cute.
snake eel and all the stickies. It's just, I love it.
Should we
You
read
want-
the other one?
You wanted to party?
Well, I want to, oh, there, I got it.
Yay.
Never will.
Yeah, somebody read another one.
TFT develops ideas that can strengthen our fight for liberation in the current day capitalist United States empire. We do this by entangling trauma theory with computational tech. Personally, I love this. I think this is the most down-to-earth answer thus far. It feels the most grounded. It just feels it feels very practical. I don't know, maybe that's unfair. A lot of the other stuff is also practical, but this part I really like this one.
What does it do by feeling practical?
I think it's significantly more easy to resonate with. I think it I think it has the ability to perhaps draw in many more folk. And I like that it reads like actual solid steps. It reads not as theory but action, you know, to me. And also, I mean, a lot of these have made me wonder, like, have like follow-up questions, but you know, this one also has a follow-up question, but it's a very specific follow-up question. What computational tech? And that's a very easy follow-up question for us to answer, which I think is cool. I don't know. That's it.
I mean, yeah, it definitely names something that it's against. The other ones, I mean, it's a little bit, but this one's saying like capitalist United States empire. So it's locating it within the US. Well, it says empire, so the empire stretches. So like center, so and then names like capitalist United States empire. So it's like naming a thing that the fight is against, I guess, like fight for liberation within this thing. I guess there's some, I mean, like there's other like I use 5%, you know, to mean things. It'd be interesting to see how like what other in other statements, if others are naming a thing that we're like rolling it, whatever. And then this one is also, I mean, it does center ideas too. So like, and I don't know if the ideas are also an acronym, like it is all cap, or if it's like an emphasis of ideas. So this one, as opposed to other ones, is focused more on the ideas and the concepts, not so much the somatic, like the feeling stuff. And then it also is very specific about like trauma theory, again, like the ideas and the theory. where some of the other ones are like praxis or like trying to get more away from the theory ideas thing. Or I don't know if it is getting away. At least mine is. And then yeah, and then similar with Saffron, the computational tech. And then so it is like saying we're doing it is, I think it's being more specific, like where
Yeah,
the other
this
ones are
what
more broad. This is like we're
that's what the
specifically
hmm
using trauma theory, we're specifically doing computational tech, and we're specifically liberation within capitalist, which I
and
think is great, but I don't know if that I get a little bit like, oh, but there's other things that we're doing that aren't this.
ew.
In terms of like what it's giving, I think the practical is good. Like I like the practical too. The language it's so different. The other it feels, yeah, I guess it's more like activist language. Maybe that's it. Like more kind of like um, not in that any of this is bad. Just like like just noting differences.
I mean, well, maybe this isn't the time for this, but I kind of want you to speak to that more. Is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Maybe it's not good or bad, it's just a thing and just an observation, I'm also interested, who authored this one?
It was me. I'd like to talk about it more. I've got to do a switch off of goods, but y'all, if somebody else could just take stickies, if there are any more sticky worthy things for the next like 2 minutes, I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Okay, okay. Um, wait, what was the question, Saffron? You said something about before.
You had
Oh, the
mentioned
language.
the
The
language and the
Are you talking about the activist language? Yeah, yeah. I think it'll just bring in that, like it would bring in that like history. Like I would start thinking within activist kind of histories or material discursive practices. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
More so than the
Yeah,
other
and
ones,
in a
which are
way
like,
that almost could like pigeonhole us, that in a way that like doesn't serve us, you know?
mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna add that. It's sticky.
BRB.
Okay. Oh, interesting how these work.
The stickies, I know, right? I don't know if I'm a fan. I think they're so cute, but like using them, I'm so annoyed.
Totally. I'm like, wait,
You
it's like a
know?
box that you have to like then
Yeah.
type in and then you
And like I was like, yeah, like it took me a second to figure out the whole editing thing, and I was just like, why are you being like this?
I just added one sticky note, which is
Activist
the
language.
yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I get really like existential about TFT and like what we're doing, what are we doing, what am I doing here, what am I wanting to do, what am I doing in TFT? And this was me being stoned the other night and like trying to be so direct about like what the value of TFT is.
Uh-huh.
And there is this thing about ideas that I want to talk about more. Maybe this is something that we can return to next time.
Yep.
Of like what the valuable things that we are making are, and like this is me positing or like proposing that maybe it is ideas are like the valuable things that we produce, and that everything else that we produce is in service of ideas, of like the ideas that they produce.
Oh my God, you're making me have a different relationship to ideas in a very exciting way in terms of because like I'm not like I don't believe like that like eradication of all ideas and beliefs and but it's like how do we co-produce ideas that don't get sucked back into the 5%, right? That can actually world a different because like the ideas form the worldviews in which the world, right? Or something. I mean, yeah, I like that.
Can we go to Gossamer? If you notice, I started typing what you were saying into a definition. And if that's something that you're interested in making into a definition for us to talk about either now or next time, I think that's cool. And if it's not, then that's okay too. But there's that little nugget, and then there's this longer one here. I'll go ahead and read the longer one here. And because this one, the nugget that I was typing out was just a fragment. The longer one, based in Karen Barad's conceptualization of the diffraction apparatus, diffractive methodologies are about quote unquote reading insights through one another and attending to and responding to the details and specificities of relations of difference and how they matter. Every other week, oh no, I hate reading this. Every other week, we dial into vast internet networks to perform as a diffractive apparatus called Thinky Feely Tank. Through these Thinky Feely Tanks emerge technologies that support our coming together / enable us to turn to one another amidst the isolating individualist conditions that we'd otherwise die within. So there's
I
one
love that
sticky
part.
note at what this does, which is it provokes. That's one thing that it does. It provokes with the word die.
Mm-hmm.
What are other things that this one does?
I think it provokes with the word die. I think it provokes with this idea that we're dialing into a vast internet network that no one wants to like. I mean, personally, yeah, when you said that, I was just like a big fat ew, but also that's exactly what's happening, and that's exactly what's going to continue happening, not only here, but across the board. So it's interesting because it's like it almost pokes fun at reality and puts a mirror up to, you know, the reality of it all, right? Or like what is actually going on. But also I think it can it can poke fun and, be a mirror, but it can also um I was gonna say it can also express how it's accessible in that it's not in person and it is online. But also being online is so inaccessible, in the grand scheme of things, and it is really um something for the privileged, right? But yeah, this one is a bit provoking. I like that word. I think that's great for this.
I was
Gossamer.
thinking, I think that, yeah, I think the provoke is, I like the provoke too. And it's making me think that the one previous of also lampshades is also provoking, but in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and so I'm
Yeah.
thinking about the differences and how they're provoking. And this one, the second one is more, I like it because this one is the one prior is provoking, but it's more legible provoking. I think that's what I mean by activist language. Like it's like I can
Yeah.
recognize it, I can understand it, I've heard
It's
it.
succinct. It's,
Yeah, but
gets to
this one
the point.
I like this one how it provokes because it's not just like a one-liner provoke. It's like a provoking that then gets me to be like really think about
There's
what
a
it is
few
that I'm reading.
layers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then how you just like, I got that because like how Saffron, how you described it, how you're kind of like how you experience that sentence, and then it made you like then go back. Yeah, like I was like, oh yeah, it does that. So it's a different type of provoking, which
Mhm.
I like. Um, it also this one also brings in another like it's doing a broad thing, so it's like really emphasizing broad as like a main like think if you're telling is like a Baradian thing. Mm. And then it brings in the internet, the Zoom, which is something that others haven't, because like we mostly this is how we engage. So it brings
I
in like the
actually I think that's valuable, and even if it's not worded exactly this way, I think it's worth mentioning. And I'm really happy that whoever wrote this
This is
included it.
this is when we can talk about what the differences do next time
and maybe
around.
that could be added into like this if we end up doing wanting to list like the formats, like the thing you play is an event. Yeah, it can be like it's the
Mhm.
I don't know, the internet, the internets or something. No.
Yeah. Is that all of them, guys?
Oh, this one also names diffractive methodologies. That the other ones, I mean, we're not doing differences, but I think yeah, that's a
But some of them.
significant
Yeah.
diffractive
I,
apparatus and diffractive methodology.
I think it's worth I think it's worth saying that. But
Mhm. And it also kind of defines what that is, which none of the other ones do, like reading
Mhm.
insights to one another, attending to and being responsible to, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's yeah, I think I like that it defines that. I think it's important that we make it
Yeah,
clear.
yeah, because that's like where the jargon, where it gets too jargony, we're not like unpacking it, and then it just like,
Mhm.
yeah. Mhm.
And then you kind of, I mean, but you kind of put the labor on the person who might be interested in finding out about us
Oh,
to
that's what it
figure
does.
out,
Puts labor on the person. Yeah.
Ah,
you
yes,
know,
that's the thing is doing. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you know, why, like,
yeah.
let's just help them out and tell them what's up.
Totally. I am so down for that. I want to, but why is it so fucking hard to describe? We've been trying to fucking describe this shit
This has been a month. This has been months.
like so long. I'm like,
Yeah.
for some reason it's fucking hard. But this is like the most. This is like we're like doing it, and it feels so good.
Thank you, Lambs, for really taking the reins on this one.
Fuck
Playing with the
yeah.
kitty cats.
Is there anything else to add to this discussion or this visual to set us up well for next time we gather? Anything else for somebody to say?
I guess if Gossamer wants to add, expand on what she said, no, you don't have to, but if you wanted to, just to note that, maybe we start with that.
And
And
I
then,
just, oh, I was thinking Entangler's use of the microbiome with the figured so heavily in earlier
Where is that?
descriptions, but no, it doesn't come up anywhere, not even the word biology.
good
In
one.
this. So has
That's
that now
great.
just been reduced to a tech tool that we're using? Or
That's a good question. Yeah.
Hmm. I love that you said that. That's some core,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, cool.
Some foundational stuff.
So next meeting in 2 weeks. So Lam, you're cool to facilitate again?
Yeah, yeah, similar to how it was today. This style worked for me.
Cool.
If somebody else wants to do that, then that adds cool flavor to it. And also I'm okay doing it myself, doing it like I did today.
Great. Yay. You're so good at it. I love it. The last time you
Oh,
facilitated was also fucking amazing. Oh,
thank you.
for real.
That's awesome.
Cool.
How do we end?
Oh yeah, we have to de we have to de this what's the word?
Making Zoom big again.
Detached. It's detached. I was putting another word in front of it. Okay. Okay. Now we are detaching as a thinky feely tank.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Good night.
You.
Ooh, we have to have a cool effect when we do that.
Yeah, yeah,
Is-
yeah. Like maybe the end should be like,
Can we use the sound effects? Can we use the radio sound effects?
oh yeah, like sound effects. Or maybe we just do it with our mouths. Maybe we just go, you know.
Okay, bye y'all.
Okay, bye. Bye everyone.